I really tried giving the 76ers a chance. I mean, we're 14 games into the season, and even though they didn't have the best record throughout that period of time, I didn't make a single video talking about them. I didn't make something saying that it was their downfall and that they're going to be terrible now and the Paul George trade was garbage. I didn't do any of it, and you know why? It's because we didn't actually see all of them play at the same time. It always just felt wrong to judge them off of that, right? Paul George, I think, had some sort of knee injury. I think it was during the preseason, if I'm not mistaken. Tyrese Maxey went through some health issues. Joel Embiid is always fucked up somehow. Like, there were a lot of issues with this team when they first started, so when I saw their record, I didn't really care that much. And I know it still might be too early for me to say anything about them and say that they're not good enough or that they're not going to make anything happen this year, right? I understand all of that. But going into tonight's game against the Memphis Grizzlies, my hopes were all the way up at the ceiling. I mean, I thought that this was going to be the game that kind of put everyone else on notice, right? Showing that the 76ers are a real team. They are for real, and it was just the injuries that kind of plagued their, start to the season. Let's also quickly mention that this Grizzlies team isn't that good. They're missing Zach Edey. They're missing John Morant. Their real heavy hitter here is Desmond Bane. So even though they're not a terrible team, it's not like they're a fully healthy, Western Conference Finals Grizzlies team. But what happens to the 76ers? Well, they play like complete shit. And we can go ahead and just start off with Joel Embiid because, oh man, it's not only like I don't like watching his game because of the way he plays, but mind you, this is the first game after they had their whole player meeting situation where Tyrese Maxey was calling him out for being late and not really caring about the game. So when watching this, I was even more excited to see how Joel Embiid would play because I thought he'd have a bit more of a chip on his shoulder, right? For his teammates calling him out for stuff like that. And he just still seemed slow. He wasn't shooting the ball well, foul baiting and doing his regular old shenanigans where he would just cry about it to the refs and sit on the floor and slam the ground. It's a lot of those things that we always see from Joel where it's like, do you actually care about the game or are you just complaining so you can get to the line to get your free throws? And I do want to make it very clear, I know that he may have been slow physically because of his knee. He had a pretty big brace on it today. And there was even a moment when he was at the free throw line where he reached down and kind of grabbed it a little bit. So I understand movement wise, that's where he could be, but he just didn't have any of that fire or passion that I thought we were going to see from him. And then there's Tyrese Maxey, who I can't really say too much about. He was really quick to come back from his injury and he was actually upgraded to available right before the game. So I'm not necessarily sure how much prep he had when going into this game, but he also didn't shoot well. It was not his best game. He must have had some sort of silent minutes restriction as well because he really just didn't play that many minutes. So I know that if you check this box score and you look at his game, you would think he played like shit. Even though he did, I'm giving him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt when it comes to that. But then, oh man, there's Paul George. He played so bad. I don't even think it would be crazy to say that he had the worst performance from any star player so far this year, okay? But I wouldn't even say that it was just the offensive end as well. It was also the defensive end where he just didn't care at all. And then, of course, the cherry on top was the fact that he re-injured his same knee that he hurt earlier in the season. With this one being a hyper-extension, I don't know how long he's going to be out for. Maybe I'll have some info by the time I'm editing this video and I could throw it up on the screen. But that was just the nail in the coffin, man, where you're just really, we have to go through even more games of Joel Embiid not even being fully healthy. Tyrese Maxey will hopefully be back to his normal self soon. And then Paul George, the guy that everyone was so excited for this offseason, to be injured again. It's actually made me lose a majority of the hope that I had for this team. And the only reason why I don't say that I lost all of my hope is because of Jared fucking McCain. This man is so much fun to watch. I made a quick TikTok talking about this a couple days ago. Well, all these other players were out like Kyle Lowry and Tyrese Maxey. Jared McCain finally got himself some minutes and was able to prove himself. This man not only has a picture-perfect jumper, but it's also fast as hell. He has the ability to get down into the paint and maneuver his body in a way where he can find his shot no matter what. He can relocate off the ball. He has good off-ball movement in the first place, and he has active hands on defense. This guy, it's huge. I am a little bit upset that the Kings didn't pick him, but I can't be too mad until Devin Carter finally starts getting some playing time and he's back from his injury. But it's if there's any good thing to look at if you're a 76ers fan, it's Jared McCain. Everything else right now has gone to shit. I mean, we're seeing people talk about how the 76ers need to trade Joel Embiid and trade Tyrese Maxey and all this stuff. And I'm not going to say I agree with those people, but hey, Joel Embiid, man, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. So if there is any bright side to see out of all of this, it's that Jared McCain is playing really good. He has very high chances at winning Rookie of the Year. So am I overreacting just a little bit to the very, very, very small sample size that we saw from the 76ers big three, yeah, you might think that. It was only a half of a basketball game and all of them didn't really play that well. So I'm going to sit here and say that they didn't play well. But how big of a sample size are we even going to get? When do you guys think we will ever see Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George all on the court at the same time consistently for a long stretch of time to where they can kind of fully develop their game together and get to know how each other, how they all play, and then also have that lead into the playoffs and hopefully make it all the way to the finals and win the championship without a single person getting hurt? I'm sorry, but I'm getting Brooklyn Nets flashbacks of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, where it was like, yeah, when they're all on the court and they're all doing good, it is awesome. They are one of the best teams in the NBA, but that never happens. They're never all on the court at the same time. They are never going to be that good, that consistently, while being that healthy. It's just not going to happen. So I don't know what you guys think. You can let me know down in the comments. I read and respond to everyone. It does mean a lot. And if you're down there, be sure to like and subscribe as well. I hate to sound this negative and this much like a downer, but I gave the 76ers their small bit of wiggle room to try to make something happen and try to win some games. Not even against a injured Memphis Grizzlies team, but that's just where I stand. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next one. Later.